Welcome to the Refusion Podcast, where we transform patient care.
Welcome back to another episode of the Refusion Podcast. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm John.
Today we're covering recency and consistency. The two trust signals 66% of patients are checking that most practices ignore. And, if you're listening to this deep dive right now, I want you to just imagine looking up a doctor online and seeing this, flawless 5-star rating.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Right. It sounds ideal. But what if I told you that over half of patients would actually just skip that doctor entirely and go for someone with a lower score? We're digging into Refusion's 2026 behavioral study today to figure out why a perfect rating might actually be, scaring your patients away.
It's wild, honestly, because it totally flips the script on how we think about online reputation. I mean, if you're looking for a restaurant and see a 3-star rating, the worst case scenario is you get a bad taco.
Exactly. The stakes are super low.
Right. But healthcare, that is incredibly high trust and high risk. The study shows nearly 89% of patients are checking online reviews before booking. And they do this because they're just desperate for some kind of social proof to lower their anxiety.
Because if you don't have a friend specifically saying, go to this doctor, she's amazing, you kind of have to rely on the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. You rely on the crowd.
But wait, if 89% of people are trusting the crowd, I'm just shocked they'd ignore a perfect 5-star score. What is the crowd actually looking for then?
Well, they're looking for expiration dates, essentially.
Expiration dates.
Yeah. So the core stat from the study is that 66% of patients look at both the star rating and the recency of the reviews together. So an isolated 5-star review from, say, 3 years ago, it's basically expired.
Oh, wow. So they want to know what's happening right now.
Exactly. Old reviews just don't move the needle anymore because they don't reflect how the practice operates today.
That is such a huge shift. I feel like we're so used to thinking of a review as this permanent gold star on a permanent record. But you're saying patients treat reviews more like milk, like they go bad.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Think about how fast things change in a clinic. Staff turns over, the billing systems get updated, wait times fluctuate.
Right, a lot can change in a year.
Exactly. Patients want to know what to expect today. Having a steady stream of recent reviews shows this ongoing, consistent pattern of good care. And that massively reduces their decision anxiety.
Okay, I have to push back a little bit here, though, because as a patient myself, if I see a 4.5 next to a 4.9, my eye just naturally goes to the higher grade. It's like human nature to want the A+. Are people really sitting there doing the math on review counts and choosing the lower score?
They absolutely are. And the data backs this up beautifully. The study found that 56.8% of patients chose a 4.5-star provider with 1,050 reviews over a 4.9-star provider with only 25 reviews.
Wait, really? More than half?
Yeah, more than half. It all comes down to a concept called Bayesian trust.
Okay, lay that on me. How does Bayesian trust explain me walking away from an A+?
Think about it like flipping a coin. If you flip a coin twice and get heads both times, you wouldn't bet your house that it's a rigged coin.
Right, because 2 flips is nothing.
Exactly. Not enough data. But if you flip it 1,000 times and get a 90% heads rate, you know exactly what you're dealing with. Patients are doing that exact same mental math with provider ratings.
Ah, I get it. So a near perfect score with only 25 reviews just feels suspicious?
Totally. It sets off internal alarms. It feels curated or biased or just like a sample size that's way too small to trust.
Okay, so a 4.5 with 1,000 recent reviews feels authentic. It feels like real life. I definitely buy that. But here's the reality for everyone listening right now. Doctors and front desk staff are totally exhausted.
Oh, absolutely. Burnout is real.
Right. You can't just ask a receptionist who is already juggling insurance claims, triaging patients, and answering phones all day to suddenly become this part-time review chaser. So how do clinics bridge the gap between needing massive volume and having zero free time?
Well, that's the real challenge, isn't it? The study actually notes that 80% of patients have seen a provider in the last quarter. So those fresh, positive experiences are definitely happening all the time.
So the good visits are there, they're just not making it online?
Exactly. And the problem is patient psychology. When someone has a great appointment, they feel this huge wave of emotional relief. But that relief is highly perishable.
Meaning it fades fast.
Really fast.
Yeah.
Once they get back to their car or, return to work, life just takes over. You basically have this very narrow 24 to 72-hour window to capture that positive sentiment before it evaporates completely.
Right, so you definitely can't just cross your fingers and hope they remember to log on and leave a review 3 weeks later when they're paying a medical bill.
Which is exactly why automating this whole process is just non-negotiable at this point. Tools like Repugen are built specifically for this.
Because they catch patients in that window.
Yep. They automatically reach out during that golden 24 to 72-hour time frame. So they collect authentic feedback while the emotional relief is still fresh, and they monitor the online reputation seamlessly.
That makes total sense. It takes that massive manual burden completely off the front desk staff, which guarantees that steady flow of recent reviews.
Exactly. It turns that fleeting 72-hour window into a permanent regenerating asset for the entire practice.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. If a patient looked at your practice's reviews right now, at this very second, are they seeing the true story of your care today, or just an outdated snapshot from 3 years ago?
And to make sure your true story is actually being told, visit Recugen's website and book a free demo. You'll learn exactly how to build stronger patient trust through effective online reputation management. Thanks for listening to the Recugen Podcast, your path to better healthcare.